Hey guys, welcome back. I'm Carissa.
And I'm Christian, and this is A Lot in Common.
So yes, sister, did you see Joe Rogan respond and try to fix this Theo Von situation?
I sure did. I
Yeah.
saw it. How do you feel about it?
I feel like he was told that it's absolutely necessary to do that because Theo Von has such a strong audience.
Yeah.
People that love Theo Von love Theo Von.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, we love Theo Von, and we were super upset about the whole thing, but there's something about his apology that just doesn't sit right with me.
No, it doesn't feel genuine.
No. Let's take a look at it.
I apologize to Theo. He knows I love him, and he said that, and we laughed and we joked around about it, and I apologize for the way I talked about this. But I felt like I need to explain to other people too, to get just like what was going on in my mind out. And it certainly wasn't like covering for Israel, and it certainly wasn't like trying to paint him out like he's damaged or treat him like a child. I just want him to be okay. And when you're dealing with someone, or when you have like had experience dealing with someone where it winds up going very badly, and then you're just left with this feeling like, what could I have done? I didn't do a good job of it, especially like the Marcus King thing. Like, that's terrible what I did. I didn't mean to. I was just trying to. You don't think sometimes when you're in the middle of a podcast, you're just having a conversation. You don't think about the impact that it's going to have. That's one of the reasons why, podcasts are so weird, because like you're in the middle of trying to be entertaining, but you're also just having a conversation.
It feels to me like he's like, oh, all right, I guess I have to go on and apologize. It's too much of a big backlash.
Yeah.
It feels like a very lazy apology. It feels like he had to do it. Feels,
Yeah.
kind of like just like he was told to do it. It doesn't feel genuine.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's interesting that he brought up Shushriel at all, because I don't know. I think he regrets it because of the backlash. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that he still stands by his words and he still means what he said. And he's only apologizing because he got in trouble.
Exactly. Yeah. Like he's just saying sorry just to kind of make up for, losing some of his audience maybe, or pissing people off.
Yeah, I mean, there was like 3 times in a row that he pissed everybody off with Theo. So it makes sense that he was like, okay, I'll apologize this time. And it's funny that he brings up Israel, because that is a huge reason why everybody was upset with him the first time, with him saying, you need to come hang out with us, that whole thing, because Theo was going in on Israel, as he should. Joe Rogan was just sitting there acting like he's stupid, and there's something wrong with him.
Yeah.
And then he goes out on this, on the podcast before this, and then he says, yeah, man, I think that you're going crazy. You're going crazy. There's something wrong with you. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I just think it's bullshit. You don't switch sides that quickly.
Yeah. And it doesn't, if they're real friends, you're not publicly displaying. There's no reason we should know their personal conversations. We shouldn't really know, how Joe Rogan really feels about Theo. That should be like in their personal lives. Like, hey, friend to friend, I want to let you know I'm worried about you, not like telling millions of people I'm worried about Theo Von.
Right.
Like, that's not the way you go about that as a friend. You would take them aside personally, it'd be a very personal thing at talking about.
Yeah, like if you're actually worried that that's going to happen, why would you say that on a podcast to another guest? Like, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Seems fake, honestly.
Seems fake to me, and disingenuous.
Let's keep listening here.
Because I felt so badly about it, I was like, there's got to be a way to address this where I just express myself. And so that's why. We've never done this before. No. We've never done this kind of a thing after a podcast. But Theo's very important to me. She's an awesome person, a great friend, and one of the most interesting and funny people I've ever met in my life. And I just felt terrible about it. And I told him I'd never bring it up publicly again. But I think it is important to let people know that aspect of it. So I'm going to call him and clear this with him and make sure he's cool with me saying this, but I'm pretty sure he's going to be.
So that's where I get confused. He says, I'm going to call him and, clear this with him, make sure it's okay that I'm saying this.
Yeah.
So he's even going, before he's asking Theo Von, is it okay that I talk about this? He's already went ahead and recorded it, and then he's just going to go make sure that he can air it. But, it seems like a very disconnected friendship.
Yeah, it does. It doesn't seem like a real, like they're that close. And if you're not that close, then you probably shouldn't be talking about how somebody's going to commit on air with some other person that probably doesn't even know Theo.
Yeah.
You know,
that sounds more
weird.
like talking behind somebody's back rather than confronting a problem that somebody has and really caring about them getting better.
Right. Also, it's really interesting how he told the whole world that his entire Netflix taping got canned. Like they just stopped, they threw it away because it wasn't good. Like, you didn't need to say that.
Yeah, that's kind of personal.
That's super personal.
He's telling the world things he doesn't need to tell the world. You know, come on, Joe, like, keep your guys' friendship stuff private. And so he's kind of proving to Theo Von what kind of friend he is. And I think that he made a big mistake here.
Yeah, I think he did too. And I think Theo said it the best. You know, Theo said, "This is mostly cap. I'm doing great. I'm a human being, which is a rocky ride, but I'm doing fine. Thanks." He's like, "Thanks. Like, why you talking about me? Keep my name out of your mouth on your podcast that millions of people say." Whenever you know he's already going through so much with Israel and with all of the pushback that's coming at him right now because he's friends with Candace Owens or he's going off the rails, like all this stuff about Theo, and he's being attacked in so many different ways, and then you're his really good friend and you're going to be adding more to that. Just seems like a douchebag.
Yeah, it seems like a douchebag, and it seems like it's the thing that they do is they claim that you have some kind of psychological disorder or you're suicidal or something's wrong with you mentally if, you know, you're speaking the truth about things. And so Joe Rogan's just pulling that narrative that gets pulled on people that are spreading the truth that you're going crazy.
Yeah. So. And it's like, why? And everybody was really pissed and saw that. A lot of people saw that right away. They're like, wait a second. They're like, no, you're not going to do this to Theo. Okay. Yeah. You're not going to sit here and say he needs to be taken better care of or paid more attention to because he's going to commit suicide.
Yeah.
Or take too many SSRIs or do whatever they are going to try to do or would try to do. Right. Everybody's like, that's not happening with Theo. Cut it out, Joe. You're done.
The people spoke.
Yeah, and his backlash is raining on him so hard, all because of Theo. I mean, I'm sure this is the worst backlash that Joe's probably had since the whole 2020s, 2019, 2020, 2021, that whole era. He got a lot of backlash back then because he was speaking the truth about what was going on in that time, like the jab and everything.
Yeah.
And now it's just this whole nother thing. He's probably like, this is crazy. People love this guy.
They're like, and you know what? We've talked about this, like any interview that Joe Rogan and Theo Von have ever done, their communication is just, you can just tell that Joe Rogan feels so much better than Theo Von. Like the positioning, he's like, I'm better than you. That's how he talks to Theo Von, like nonchalant.
I mean, even whenever every single one of them, we've seen all of them, right? All of the Joe Rogan, Theo Von interviews. Every single one of them, when you go look at the comments, everybody's like, all of these jokes are going right over Joe's head because Joe Rogan acts like or really doesn't get his comedy, or he acts like he doesn't think it's funny.
Yeah.
So either he doesn't think it's funny, or it's just he doesn't get it.
Yeah, Theo Von is great. He's one of a kind, and he's just so honest and open, and he's been that way from the beginning and continues to be that way.
Yep.
And, you know, finding his truth, and you can just see it, and that way of living where you're just like living in your truth.
Yeah.
It's people can feel that. And so when Joe Rogan's just coming after Theo, it's people are like, this seems a little off base.
Yeah.
So
it seems off base, it seems staged, and it seems like you don't mean it.
Yeah.
But we'll let him finish here.
I'm a human and I'm flawed like all of us, and I fuck up, and it's probably not the last time. It's definitely not. I'm going to fuck up again. But my intention is never to hurt anybody, ever. And that's why I very rarely, if ever, even get upset at anyone other than like corrupt politicians. But I do my best to just try to be a good person, spread positivity.
Yeah, well, he fucked up, just like he said. He fucked up, and he's apologizing. He didn't want to apologize. You can tell. He said we'd never do stuff like this, and he had to apologize because it was affecting his numbers in some kind of way.
Yeah.
That's
or affecting something. I mean, obviously it was probably affecting his numbers, but also it was affecting like maybe how his friends were talking with him, you know, because they all love Theo. Everybody loves Theo.
Yeah.
You know, he's the best. So obviously he had to apologize. What do you guys think? Did you think he was sincere with his apologies? Or do you think that, you know, he kind of was forced, bit the hand that fed him a little bit and he had to apologize? All right, you guys, let's get into the whole Thomas Massie situation. This was really dire. I feel like Thomas Massie winning the election in Kentucky. And unfortunately, he didn't because Miriam Alderson
Yeah.
put like $500 million into the campaign against him. And they won. Girl won again. It's not surprising, but it kind of is because they don't care about showing us that they are willing to put any dollar amount to get what they want.
Yeah.
Even though the people don't want it. Everybody wanted Thomas Massie to win.
Yeah.
So it's just crazy that he lost. It's sad. It's a sad day that he did not make it. But I think that his concession speech was really nice.
It was amazing.
We'll definitely take a look at that.
Yeah.
But it's sad. It's sad, you guys.
He
It's
has
sad.
7 more months left in Congress, so I think he's going to get some stuff done, which is exciting. I loved seeing how hopeful he was about the way that the people showed up for that election and the change that people want to see. It's real.
Yeah.
People are coming together, and I'm happy to see that he was so hopeful about it.
I think you're totally right. He seemed happy because he knew that one day, he knows that one day, they have to lose. I mean, evil can't win every time.
No. And evil never really wins. God's letting all of it happen.
Right.
And so, you know, God's wrath will shine one day.
Yep.
Yeah.
I concur. So let's first play his concession speech. But what I'm going to point out here is that Ted Cruz says, I wish he hadn't said this. To me, that's really, really sketchy. Why would you say that? You're a governor of Florida. Why are you saying that you wish he hadn't said this about?
Yeah.
Right? Very, very, very weird to me.
It is weird.
He has to make a decision now to end him or something like it's very weird.
Yeah.
But let's take a look at Thomas Massie here.
All right. Listen, I would have come out sooner, but I had to call my opponent and concede, and it took a while to find Ed Galrine and tell. I did get the call through, though. I have called and conceded the race. We've been honorable the whole time, and we're going to stay that way.
Yep. So although Thomas Massie did not win the race, I am so happy for him that he gets to go home and enjoy his family and his grandkids and his farming and his hunting and live out the rest of his life.
I agree with you. But I do think that it is going to be awesome to see these next 7 months.
Oh,
I think he's going to go balls to the wall.
Yeah.
Because he already has, right? He's like, I'm gonna lay it all out there. I'm gonna put it all out there. Let's go full force.
Yeah.
So now he's definitely gonna go insanely full force. There's gonna be no stopping him. Also, a lot of people are trying to say that he is insinuating that he might be running for president.
Okay.
Let's take a look at that.
Yes. Maybe that's why he looks so happy, because he knows it's not over.
And he has a lot of people that want him to do it, right?
Yeah.
What happens in 2028? You want me to run for Congress again? I don't know what you're talking about. All right, well, you made a compelling argument. You spoke your piece. but I need a medical margarita right now. and we'll talk about it later. Thank you and God bless.
That wasn't a no.
That was not a no.
That sounded pretty open-ended to me. That might be a yes.
I think it's a yes.
I think it would be. Imagine that, him and Candace Owens.
Yeah. I mean, have you seen what she posted back in 2024?
Yeah.
Have you guys seen it? It's kind of telling.
So this is Candace Owens, December 7th, 2024. She says, should I run for president with Thomas Massie in 2028 or 2032? I can't decide. Be cool.
That was back in 2024. Mm-hmm. That's interesting.
Yeah, I remember her saying that she would run for president only if Thomas Massie would run with her. She says that's the only other person that she'd run with.
I think it's pretty possible.
It's possible. Anything's possible.
So. I think they would have to do it under a new party.
Yeah,
you know?
What?
America First Party. I don't know. It would have to be new. It couldn't be Republican or Democrat because those two have not worked for so long.
Yeah.
You know, there has to be a new party formed that people will actually vote for because independent people just won't. Not enough people will vote for independent.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it can't be independent. It has to be something new.
Yeah.
We need something new.
That new.
Yes.
Wait.
We want that new. No, we do, though. We want something new. And so I think that this would be the coolest thing. Even a Thomas Massie, Tucker Carlson, honestly.
Yeah.
Candace, I love her. She doesn't have to get into politics, though. If she doesn't want to, I get it. Tucker, at this point, you have no choice. You have to get into it. Massie, you have to stay in politics. We need you. Because we need people that aren't going to bend the knee and are not going to take money and have proven that they won't take money from PAC.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. But, also you got to think about people's well-being and stuff. And I think that he would really enjoy his life on the farm now. He's older.
Yeah. But also there's so much that he knows and there's so much that he has seen in Congress and actually seen things behind closed doors that he's not allowed to just say all the names of the Schleppstein files, right? Like he's not just allowed to come out and say it. So on your heart as a human and as a God-fearing person, if you know these things and you've seen them and you know the victims and you've talked to the victims, I think it's really hard to sleep at night and say, I could have done more, right?
Yeah.
So I think that he kind of has no choice but to be called to it. He has no choice.
Yeah.
So right here we've got, this was from 2016, one of my favorite congressmen, Thomas Massie. This is from Charlie Kirk. Right there. There's one. Here's another one of Charlie Kirk talking about how much he loves Thomas Massie.
One of the most exciting developments from last week's negotiations is the new church committee. And one of the members of that new church committee is one of my favorite members of Congress. He loves the Constitution. He loves liberty. He's honest and he's tough, and he's going to really go after the intel agencies. It's Thomas Massie, who's just terrific, from Kentucky. Congressman Massie, welcome to the program.
I don't know. I think that's pretty obvious. He loves him, right?
Yep, he did. He loved him and spoke with him lots of times. And yeah.
Now let's show his wife. Let's show Erica Kirk. It says, breaking, Turning Point USA, under the leadership of Erica Kirk, will not be endorsing Thomas Massie.
Just everything she does is contrary to what Charlie would have done,
Mm-hmm.
By not endorsing him, she's basically saying she didn't believe in his values and what he stood for. So.
Yeah. Which is saying a lot whenever your husband loved him so much and would have definitely endorsed Thomas Massie and would have been all about fighting everything that's going on right now. He would have been on the right side of everything. He was moving towards that side, as we all were at that time. I mean, everybody wasn't raised hating. I mean, most of us come from now we're Republicans. We voted for Trump. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we were all moving in that direction, and he was as well. I really like what Dan Bilzerian said here. TPUSA won't endorse Thomas Massie after Charlie spent years praising him. That tells you everything. F them and F Erica too.
And what else did he say?
And F that Nikita for shadow banning me the second I announced my campaign.
Just F them all.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I stand with you, man. I
Yeah.
get it. Did you see that China is now able to be buying $17 billion annually of U.S. farmland and agriculture? What?
Oh my gosh.
How quickly? Are you joking me?
Yeah.
Is this even serious?
Pull it up. So this is from Polymarket. It says just in, China agrees to purchase at least $17 billion in U.S. agriculture annually.
That's insane. In the beginning, before they were elected, before JD and Trump were elected, even right after they were elected, I remember specifically JD was being asked about how much China owns our farmlands, right? And he was like, yeah, I think it's a huge problem. They shouldn't be owning so much farmland. We got to take it back from them. It's very weird, and it's not very normal for another country to be owning another country's farmland.
It's not America first.
Yeah, right. And so now Trump goes to China and he makes a deal with Xi Jinping saying that, okay, you can have 17 billion because of the war in Iran is affecting China so bad. The Strait of Hormuz being closed is affecting China. And so he's like, all right, I'll make you a deal. You can have this. You can also send 500,000 Chinese nationals to our colleges. You're allowed to do that too. I'm pretty sure for free too. I think that was like part of it.
Oh my gosh.
Let's look that up.
Ay.
I'll pull up the video, but there's a clip of him just recently, right after he gets back from China a couple days ago, talking about how having immigrants is important, right? And you want people to come in. You want them to come in and learn our culture and be a part of our society. Now, look, I agree, right, to a certain extent. But at the same time, what did you run on? The complete opposite?
Yeah.
Of
like,
everything?
Does that even matter? Like what you say?
Right.
Do you hold yourself accountable for anything at all?
No, he's just going against everything that he says. Everything.
A lot of it during the Obama administration. He did nothing about it. As far as the students, it's 500,000 students that come, good students. I could tell them, I don't want any students, is a very insulting thing to say to a country. They would then immediately go out and start building universities all over China. But if you don't have those students, good students, by the way, if you don't, and we do another thing, if they're good and they want to stay in America, we won't give them a green card and things like that. And that not only them, but other countries. But if you want to see a university system die, take 500,000 people out of it. And the ones that won't be hurt are the top schools. The top schools will do fine, but your lower schools, the ones that don't do quite as well, they'll be dying all over the place.
Why?
I frankly think that it's good that people come from other
Why
countries.
would the universities be dying if we don't educate Americans instead of nationalists?
Right.
Like why? I don't understand that. Why would our college campuses and our universities die if we didn't take in 500,000 Chinese nationalists?
Right. Like, so what you're saying is that our colleges are really just open for other countries to come and get an education.
Is
That's
that what
the
you're
point?
saying? I don't know.
That's the
and
reason?
he says immediately they would go and start building universities on their own land.
Okay, let them.
Yeah, they need them for all those
Let
students.
them. Yeah, what are you talking about? They have 500,000 students like a year that need to come to the United States? Like, what are you talking about here? And wasn't he just saying in the beginning of the year or in the beginning of his presidency that all of these colleges are corrupt and they're all stealing money from the government and they're using money from the subsidies from the government for all of these foreign people coming in? Like, he was saying the opposite of all of this. And now he's saying like, no, they need all these foreign students to come in here to stay alive.
Yeah. He snaked his way into office with all these lies. It's been a year and 5 months, and he's literally flipped the whole script, and everything's a lie.
Insane.
Everything that people voted for is a lie. It should be illegal.
It should be illegal.
It should be illegal.
I'm sure it is. I mean, it's treasonous.
Yeah.
And they learn our culture, and many of them want to stay here. I think it's good. Not everybody agrees with me. And it doesn't sound like a very conservative position.
Yeah.
And I'm a conservative guy. I'm really a common sense guy, I think, more than a conservative guy. I think MAGA is common sense, people understand we want strong borders, we want strong military, we want good education, we want low interest rates, we want, but
I think people would argue they worry about, do they have nefarious intentions?
I know, and we worry about that. And honestly, they do things to us and we do things to them. It's a very, very fine line, the whole thing with students.
You know what it kind of seems like now,
What?
Honestly? It seems like Trump is just over it. He's like,
Yeah.
bad stuff's going to happen. It always will. It always has. They do it. We do it. It's all
Yeah.
bad. Fuck.
Yeah, they're just throwing the hat in. He's
Yeah.
like, you know what? I
I'm
don't
getting
know.
old.
We're still going to do what we're going to do. So why you guys keep asking me questions?
Yeah.
Literally,
It's
he's like, what's the point of even the questions? I'm not going to listen and I'm not going to change anything.
Yeah.
So
I'm not gonna bend the knee to you guys, but I will bend the knee to Israel.
yeah, because he has to.
They have 500,000 students, and our university system does great. It does great. You want to screw it up? Take 500,000 students out, and you're gonna see bankruptcies at the lower end of good colleges, but they're not known or whatever.
Bankrupt them. Let them go bankrupt.
Yeah.
Because they're bankrupting all of their students.
Yeah.
People have debts for the rest of their lives for a college degree that can't even get them a job anymore because AI is about to come in and take everybody's jobs.
Yeah.
So bankrupt them then.
Yeah.
Let them go.
See you later, alligator.
Yeah. In the famous words of Charlie Kirk, which he always said, was that you do not need a degree to be successful. Charlie Kirk came from high school.
Yeah.
He didn't go to college.
Yeah.
So he didn't believe in getting a college degree. He told people all the time, you're wasting your money.
It's so much money.
Let them bankrupt. You don't. Okay, so really what you're doing, because people aren't going to college as much as they should, is what you're saying, because they know that they're just going to get bankrupt. They're going to live their life. It's going to suck. AI is going to take over all this, right? So really what you're saying is we need to keep our colleges afloat for other countries.
Yeah, because Americans can't afford it. So we're going to bring in 500 Chinese nationalists that have really wealthy parents that can afford our universities. So we're going to educate the world and let the Americans that can't afford the education suffer. So totally reverse of America first.
Yeah, and also not even just their parents. I mean, the CCP will pay for Chinese nationalists to come here and buy homes, go to schools, take our jobs. The CCP is the government of China. They're the ones paying these people. Not that their dad's rich and they sent them here. No, it's the fucking government of China paying their people to come here. So not only is our farmland bought by the CCP, but also think about how many Chinese nationals own all of the houses everywhere, right?
Yeah.
So many houses are bought in bulk by Chinese nationals. Who really owns those? The CCP. So they own all of our farmland, they own all of our houses, and Trump just wants it to keep happening because we want to win the AI race with them. Get out of here.
Yeah.
You're out of your mind. All right, what do you think of that?
Yeah, he chooses everybody besides America first. He chooses China first. He chooses first. He chooses everybody first. Just totally forget about the American people. Totally forget that people are barely scraping by, can't afford gas, can't afford groceries. He just completely puts aside the needs of the American people. But make sure that there's 500,000 Chinese nationalists going to our universities so that these universities can stay afloat. Seems like the priorities are totally out of whack.
Sure does. And that's the leader of the free world, you guys.
Crazy how our whole land is being completely taken over by data centers.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, and the way I feel about it, I was just thinking about it. I'm like, they're covering all this land. These data centers are using so much of natural resource, way too much water. It's using way too much land. It's getting too close to people's houses, has noise pollution. It's almost like they're not preparing for a future with people involved. It's almost like they're just going to cover the top of the land with data centers for an underground system because they don't care about literally taking away people's property. They don't care about taking, their power source. They're telling people in Utah they have a year to figure out a new source of power because the data centers are going to be using all of it.
Yeah.
So it's almost like they're not planning for a future where the people actually matter because there maybe not even going to be a future.
Right. I think that makes a lot of sense. And also, you touched on the whole underground thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's wild because it makes a lot of sense that they would totally take over all the land, kick people out of here, not care. And also, funny thing is about the whole they were all environmentalists just like 10 years ago, like it was so important to them, the greenhouse gases coming out of your cars. But now data centers, they're sitting here pushing out insane amounts of smog and pollution 24/7. They run 24/7.
Mm-hmm.
They take all the energy, they take all the water, and so they're completely depleting the land. And so it's just funny how they sit there and they switch sides with everything. They always do. They switch it all up.
Illuminati Bot says, here's how this data center generator starts up in the morning in Florida. Notice the consistent stream of heavy black smoke. Remember just a couple years ago when using electricity and diesel caused climate change. Now data centers use as much power as cities and is no problem.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, they're just going crazy with everything.
Yeah, they're honestly, it's like in all of these data centers, they're literally just there's no actual value for them.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? The value is the internet. AI is like the number one thing for these data centers. That's why so many are going up at a remarkable rate. They want to take over like the entire land with data centers is because of AI. And it's like, honestly, who wants AI that bad?
Yeah.
You know?
I can go without a lot of what AI is doing.
Not
Thank
interested.
you, we're good. Like, we can just live normal lives and read normal books and stop asking it so many questions. I'd be all right to kind of backtrack and have to find things out for myself rather than being able to pull it up and having all this information. It's not necessary for the amount of damage that it's causing.
Right. In every way. It's causing damage with from the data centers to taking it's going to take everybody's jobs. It's going to do everything. Did you see that now they're having on, I think it's Alexa is going to have AI podcasts. So you can tell it whatever you want to hear. Like say, I want a podcast about baking cakes, and it'll rig up an entire thing of two AIs having an entire conversation and podcast about whatever subject you want. And so it's just insane.
That is insane.
It's insane. It's literally going to take everything over. And it's funny because people are like screaming at the top of their lungs that they do not want data centers. They do not really care for AI. Nobody cares that much to have an AI robot doing your dishes. Nobody really wants these things, but they don't care. They just keep pushing for it, and they keep trying to make it happen even more.
They want to get to that police state. They want us to be completely under surveillance, and they want us to have no control anymore. They want to squeeze us into 15-minute cities, no more land. And, their agenda is outrageous, what they want for us.
Yeah, it's disgusting. I mean, right here we've got, this was just today, St. Charles, Missouri votes to permanently ban data centers within city limits. Beautiful.
That would be cool.
Beautiful. That should be happening everywhere.
Right.
It says within city limits. So, that's great. You're not going to have to worry about your power being taken over by these data centers, right? Because there's going to be so many shortages in these areas.
Oh my gosh.
And of water. I mean, it's just draining everything. It's taking everything.
Yeah.
And so, it's great to not have them near cities, but I'm saying like it shouldn't go taking any of the land. Honestly, they want these huge data centers. They're like
in the big beautiful build, wasn't that something they snuck in there, that they have unlimited, where they could say the big beautiful bill and data centers, because pretty sure in there they snuck in where they have no, like, they can't get sued, they can build as much as they want, like it was something that they snuck in there. But
let's see, let's ask AI actually.
Yeah.
Speaking of.
So they planned it up. They set it up with the big beautiful bill for these data centers to just spread throughout our country and kind of destroy our communities, and all for the sake of what? Surveillance.
Yeah, because that's at the end of the day what these data centers are going to be.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they're gonna be totally that. You're so right. They're gonna be huge places where they store all their drones, and they just totally in the morning they'll send their drones up and they'll start surveying everybody in the cities and surveying everybody in the land and making sure everybody's on their best behavior, totally controlling everything. That's what these are all for.
Tax incentives and immediate deductions for investments. So this restores 100% bonus depreciation, full expensing for qualified property placed in service after January 2025. This covers data center components like servers, HVAC, electrical systems, facilities themselves, allowing huge upfront tax savings on multi-billion-dollar projects.
Wow.
It also expands immediate deductions for the R&D and equipment, plus boosts the semiconductor production tax credit.
Wow.
Really crazy.
That's crazy. So restores 100% bonus depreciation. Not really sure what that means, but it sounds like a lot.
100%. That's a lot.
That's crazy.
Been seeing some small wins in counties where, they're denying requests and data centers aren't being put up as much.
Yeah.
So hopefully, once it reaches our front door, I know that I will be out there making sure that they don't get built.
Yep. I'll be right there with you.
All right, let's do it. Let's keep these data centers far away.
Yeah, we'll be yelling at them. But at the end of the day, I mean, the people can yell, the people can cry, but we'll still control that. You know what I mean? Like they're gonna do what they want. Look what they did to Thomas Massie just now.
Yeah.
They're literally gonna do whatever they want. Look at them still pushing Erica Kirk in our face. They'll literally just keep the show going.
Yeah.
And keep the boat rowing.
Yes, the show must go on.
Yes. But sister, did you see the Victor Marx interview?
Yes, I did.
Oh my gosh.
Crazy stuff.
It was wild.
Yeah.
How do you think he came in?
I think he came in expecting to manipulate Candace Owens a little bit more than he was able to. He couldn't grab her, which was awesome. I loved how she took control of the situation and said, "You know what? No, you're on my show. I'm going to tell you how this goes.
Yes.
You can answer some questions or not." And so she did an amazing job, but he really showed who he is, which is a total psychopath, bipolar, crazy guy, allegedly.
Yeah, he's very, very creepy.
Yeah.
He gives off the worst vibes, especially in the beginning of the video. He really, really showed his true colors in the beginning, and I feel like he did a video after showing. I'll play it, but there's a video of him after the interview, and it shows like 7 people behind him the whole time that he was recording. And so in the very beginning, he was sitting there like came in hot, very hot and very intense and very, very narcissistic, douchey, controlling, right?
Definitely
and then
douchey.
He calmed down a little. And I think his people behind the screen were telling him, like, calm down,
Don't seem homicidal because you are.
Right.
Don't let him know who you really are.
Right. So go ahead and play the beginning of this, and let's see if you guys didn't see it, you've got to check it out. It's kind of hard to get through, but you got to see the demon in him and being exposed at least a little bit. If you know what you're looking for, you'll know he's evil. But we'll go ahead and play the beginning of the interview when he gets a little crazy.
Yeah.
When he shows his true colors.
Victor Marx, welcome to the Candace Show. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, Candace.
And thank you for joining me. I'm sorry that I missed your message that came back to me on, I think it was April 22nd. I know we were pinging over Instagram, but I'm glad that you could join us today. I'd like to guide this conversation sort of in order, meaning starting a little bit with your background. I think I have a lot of questions about some of the stories that you've shared. And I was able to speak to some of your family members, and they seem to have some questions about some of the biographical items that you share. So just beginning with, I think, sort of the inflection points, this story about beheading a cat and wearing its head at the age of 3. I mean, it's not an easy thing to behead a cat. I have a lot of toddlers. Do you stand by that?
Well, let's start with, I think, what's most relevant right now are the latest accusations by your last guest, Corby, which is, I think, what brought us together on this whole issue. In what we're going to discuss and the time I'm giving you freely to talk about some things, are you willing to admit when you're wrong or you've been misguided?
So Victor, just so you know, you're on my show. I'm not on yours. So I'm going to guide the conversation. I said I'm happy to speak about Corby. There are broader concerns. Actually, the way that my highest interest in you is obviously as it relates to Charlie Kirk and your involvement with Turning Point USA.
I realize that.
Yeah.
And you're right.
We can speak about Corby, but you're, this isn't your stage. So respectfully, I do want to. You are running for governor, so I think your biography is important. Obviously, the Corby Hall stuff is important. And if something is wrong, we're happy to correct it. We did invite you to come on the show with Corby, which we asked you to do because that made the most sense, because you guys could rebut each other face to face. You declined to do that. So Corby had the stage for himself, and I could not offer a rebuttal because I wasn't there for the conversations.
Right.
So the answer is yes. But I want to start with your biographical items. Do you stand by that story, that inflection point?
Candace, we have to start with what brought me here, which is Corby. And I clearly communicated to you and your staff, do not.
The thing that creeps me out the most about all this is how obsessed he is with Corby, right? Yeah. Because Corby's the one that went on her show and he exposed him for everything. And then you had Victor Marx sitting there, that video of him saying that Corby is he's homicidal and he's threatening to kill Victor Marx. Mm-hmm. That's very coincidental that the guy who's saying that you're homicidal and you're crazy and psycho and scary, the one that says that you're saying that he's homicidal and wanting to kill you. Yeah. Also, another interesting thing about Corby is on Coach Colin this morning, Corby was in the chat. And Corby was also, I guess, speaks with Coach Colin. Oh. Like they have each other's numbers. And so it's interesting that Corby is totally wanted by the FBI for wanting to kill Victor Marx, but then he's live streaming and chatting during one of Coach's lives.
Right. Yeah, he's just making up false accusations about Corby. And honestly, why, if he's so interested about addressing Corby, why wouldn't he address Corby directly on the show? That was his opportunity to address Corby, is when she invited him on with Corby. Right. And so it's kind of crazy that he keeps referring back to that. It's like, no, she's like, I gave you your opportunity already for that. Yeah. Tell me about who you are, you homicidal freak. Yeah.
Not have him on, do your research, because he's unstable. And the very person that platformed him for you, Corey, has filled out a statement both with local authorities and FBI that he is homicidal, and he told her and her husband that he had plans to kill me, and she felt responsible for it being fueled. And your name was brought up as he's aggravated, something about he didn't get what he wanted out of your show. But I need you to at least acknowledge, did Corey contact y'all, not Corby, but did Corey contact y'all with the concerns of not platforming Corby again?
Wait. Well, you brought up a homicidal thing that you said in the clip that we just showed, that you yourself have had homicidal thoughts. Do you still have homicidal thoughts? Or is that a period in your life?
That was a long time ago, and I'm thankful I didn't. But currently, this gentleman is being sought by the FBI.
Yeah, it's like, no, currently, are you homicidal? Like, just stop.
Who admitted to Corey, the individual who platformed him on your show, that he was struggling with homicidal thoughts, and he gave detailed plans on how he was going to lay in wait to kill me. Are you?
Well, that's not anything that we have heard on this show. So like I said, we can't rebut on that. We received only a message from Corey that she got a phone call from the FBI and that they were investigating you for gun running. Did she inform you of this? I don't know. I would really like to go back to the biographical items, though, of your life. I don't want to get into
well-
background investigations. I was not contacted by the FBI. I can't verify it. And as I said, we can discuss Corby's allegations. But I would like to begin with just the cat.
Well,
did you behead the cat at the age of 3? Do you stand by that story?
Did your team view social media, as y'all are a quasi-investigative team by all your allegations? Did you see Corey's public statement about what happened and how this is very serious? They cannot locate this individual you platformed.
Speed it up a little.
Corby, hold on. We're talking about a homicidal individual who has threatened to kill me, and your name was brought up in this.
I have answered your question. I have not seen it, so I cannot have a conversation with you about that. What I can have a conversation with you about is the statements that you have publicly made since you are joining the show. And I would like to focus on your biographical items because, as I said, I've spoken with your family in Martinville, and they claim that your stories are fantastical. So I'm just asking you, and we can then get into some questions about the alleged gun sales that you were trying to conduct with Corby, which is what we discussed on the show and which we have seen evidence for. I cannot speak to you about a report that I have not seen that you claim is happening. And I would like to just kind of get you focused here because you're running for governor. And I don't think that Corby Hall is going to be your number one issue.
Thank you.
Do you
Corby
have anything?
is my number one issue right now.
You know why he's his number one issue?
Yeah.
Because he's the one that originally started exposing him.
I would call that an issue too, Victor Marx. He is definitely your biggest issue because he exposed who you are.
Mm-hmm.
And now you're making up some bull.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, Victor Marx is, if you were to just watch this interview face value, you'd be like, what's wrong with this guy? He's just a normal older dude.
Yeah.
You know, who cares?
Seems
He's just
like
trying to. He's just trying to save people, you know? But whenever you look at the accusations against him, like there was allegedly a girl that was trafficked and he saved her from that. And then she comes around and says that he actually was molesting her after he saved her from trafficking. So it is very interesting, the allegations that are all surrounding him.
Yeah. He's that kind of crazy that he believes the character he's in.
Yeah.
Like right now he believes that he's like this good guy and he plays this character so well, and then he goes home and he's a different character.
Right.
And then he goes somewhere else and he's a different guy. I bet you he has probably 7 different characters that live inside of him. He seems like that kind of guy.
Right. He does seem like that kind of guy. His sister has allegations against him saying that he was abusive to his sister. And so that's kind of allegedly.
Yeah, there's lots of allegations with this guy. There's lots of past weird stuff. And it's just, all these people that are surrounding themselves around TPUSA Faith are shady characters. And I don't think that Charlie Kirk would be approving of these people.
No, and you know what's really scary is he made that retooling prayer that he does on the people.
Yeah.
It's like trying to get the demons out of them, right?
Yeah.
And he supposedly did that on Charlie Kirk. That's what he told Candace Owens. Not on Erica, supposedly, just on Charlie Kirk.
Yeah,
so
Erica still has all those demons. So
right,
yeah.
Right. But I mean, this guy's scary all around. Also, people are saying that it was really interesting that whenever he said that he texted Erica Kirk right after Charlie Kirk had been assassinated, he texted her right away and he said, "Don't worry, they aren't coming for you. They only wanted Charlie." So people are really confused about that because we're like, how did you know? That's a kind of a weird thing to say because in reality, if you didn't know anything about the shooting or the assassination, how do you know they're not coming after multiple people? They could have been coming after the president still. They could have been coming after his wife. They could have been coming after anybody. How do you know that they were only coming after Charlie?
Yeah, he's definitely given the vibes that he knew something that others didn't know about the assassination.
Right. Yeah. Apparently he's buddy with Brian Harpool, which is
Makes sense.
The security detail for Charlie Kirk.
That's Erica Kirk still has around, right? Yeah.
Like
the security detail. I mean, we can't forget the basic facts of this thing. So the security detail that failed to protect Charlie from his assassination is still around protecting Erica.
Right.
So that doesn't make sense.
Make it make sense. I mean, you can't because it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't.
To say that they're still around would insinuate that they're still being paid.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So they're still being paid to protect Charlie Kirk's widow that let him die, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So kind of interesting.
The puzzle pieces are not fitting.
They're not fitting,
the
you guys.
The story is falling apart. And you know, the more people that come out that are on Eric Kirk's side, the more they're digging a hole. People are like, what?
Mm-hmm.
More? Like, seriously, you guys, just stay put away if you're trying to succeed at anything, because the more you come out, the more your truth gets exposed.
Yeah, and also, but it's hard for them because anybody that seems to be associated with Erica Kirk is just a bad person.
That's what it seems like.
Yeah, so it's like they can't because they're just the worst.
Yeah.
They're like allegedly trafficking, and not just people, but guns and all this stuff. So it's
too
like,
many trafficking allegations in one circle of people, okay?
Yeah.
Come on. That's not normal. Whether or not they try to make you think it is, like, come on. That's not normal.
It's not normal, you guys.
No. And you know what else is not normal?
What?
Is how the government is finally letting us know that there are 4 different species of aliens.
Right.
Yes. 4 different species of aliens. The great Jesse Waters delivered this chilling news.
The Pentagon released the UFO files a few weeks back, and we just found out over 1 billion people have visited the site. 1 billion. It's got to be a record. The War Department says more files will be released soon. UFO experts and top researchers have been investigating aliens for years. Their sources say dozens of crashed UFOs have been recovered, and what they found inside, shocking.
And do people think that there's one type of non-human intelligence that's visiting the Earth, or is there many, many types?
People who have been involved in recoveries have said
there are at least 4 types, 4 separate types. Now, I have not had direct access to that, but I believe the people who I talked to.
4 different types of life.
4 different types of life.
4 different species of aliens. Another scientist called them Greys, Nordics, insectoids, and reptilians. All of them have 2 arms and 2 legs, just like us. Experts speculate the reptilians are scaly with long tails like a lizard.
And they're residing in Congress. Yeah. That's where the reptilians are. They're also shapeshifters.
Some decide to be actors.
Yeah. How about you stop talking about the and let's talk about the files, because we're not going to let the distraction happen. We're not going to forget. Maybe we're not out on the streets rioting with fire sticks and going crazy because of the files, but now we know, and we're making different decisions in our daily lives, and you're going to see a huge change in this world, and it's going to be on the good side, I think, because of this disclosure. We don't care about the aliens, though. Like, seriously, it's so lame. Like, we don't care.
Yeah.
4 species, blah, blah, blah. We know. Okay, we've been knowing that y'all are reptiles, and it's all just BS.
I just really love that literally every single conspiracy is coming true.
Yeah, that is cool.
They're manufactured conspiracies, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so every single one of them are true. I just can't wait, you guys. I cannot wait for the final boss of conspiracies to be revealed to us all. And that is Flat
Earth. That's all for this video, guys. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. It really helps the channel grow. Also, make sure to leave a comment down below.
Remember to follow us on Patreon or Spreaker to get our uncensored, uncut, unredacted full videos with exclusive content coming soon for our members.
And remember, we have a lot more in common than they want you to think.